Today we're going to work with multiplication comparisons. As you can see, our first example here, we have 16 equals 2 times 8. That we can write in two different ways. We can compare it in two different ways. We can compare it as 16 is 8 times as many as 2, or we can compare it as 16 is 2 times as many as 8. And just to kind of show this, I'm going to go ahead and draw a model. So, our model here, we're going to draw a box right here, and in that box I am going to label it with a 2 because we have as many as 2, so we're looking here at 2's, and then we have 8 times as many as 2, so we're going to draw a box here, and we're going to draw 8 boxes. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And so we have 2 in each one of these 8 boxes. And so we can see from our model here that 8 times as many as 2, notice our box here is the same size relatively, so we have 8 times as many as 2, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 16 is our answer right here, as is 8 equals 16. Okay, on our next one here, we have 16 is 2 times as many as 8. So we're going to go ahead and do a box. And in this case, the box is going to hold... in this case, the box is going to be 8. So 2 times as many as 8. I'm going to then draw underneath that. Notice we have our one box here of 8. 2 times as 8 is going to be 2 boxes of 8. And our 2 boxes of 8 here, from there to there, is going to equal our 16. So these are just ways in which we can compare multiplication problems. Okay, on this next example here, we have Sheldon has $8. Jeff has 3 times as many dollars as Sheldon. How many dollars does Jeff have? So the first thing we want to do is we want to pull out our numbers. So if we're going to underline them, we have Sheldon has $8 and Jeff has 3 times as many dollars as Sheldon. So if Sheldon has $8, we're going to go ahead and draw our model here. Sheldon has $8 and Jeff has 3 times as many dollars as Sheldon. So we're going to draw Jeff's dollars here. So we're going to label this Sheldon. I'm just going to do an SH, and then I'm going to do Jeff. J-E-F-F. Jeff right there for this other one here. And Jeff has 3 times as many as Sheldon, so we're going to draw 3 boxes for 3 times as many. And each of those boxes has 8 in it. And so now we can see what Jeff has. Jeff is going to have that amount right there of all 3 of those, whereas Sheldon only has 8. And so we can add them up. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 8 is 24. So it's going to equal 24. Or 3 times 8 is 24. We could also write this as a sentence, being that we know that Sheldon has $8, or as an equation, Sheldon has $8, so we can write our $8, and Jeff has 3 times as many dollars as Sheldon. So that tells us that's 8 times 3, and that is going to equal, like we said before, our 24. On our next example, we have Sarah, who has 4 times as many cookies as Talon. Talon has 3 cookies. How many cookies does Sarah have? So once again, we're going to draw a diagram or a model. And so we have Sarah that has 4 times. So we're going to go Sarah, S-A-R-A-H. That's a really bad A. That's a bad A too. Sarah that has 4 times as many. So we're going to do 4 boxes. And then we have Talon. That has 1 box of 3 cookies. So that because Talon has 3 cookies and Sarah has 4 times as many as Talon, we know that each box is going to have 3 in it. So then we can add our boxes together or multiply them as we count. We have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, or 4 times 3, which is 12. So we know that from right here to here is 12. So we know that Sarah has 12 cookies. Now, to write a comparison sentence, we're just taking the equation and we're putting it into words and numbers. So, in this case, we have 6 times 7. 6 times 7 equals 42. Now, 6 is what we can start off with. Okay, so we're going to just take our sentence here and we're going to say 6. And then we have our time sign, our multiplication sign. So 6 times as many as our next digit there, which is a 7. So 6 times as many as 7. And then equals in when we're talking about it in sentence form is, and then what it actually equals over there we can see is 42. So 42. Another way in which we could write this would be 42 is 6 times as many as 7. But this suffices. So now we're going to write an equation. And so as you can see, we have our sentences written here. And so we're going to put them into an equation. So this first one here, we have 6 times as many as 8 is 48. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out our first digit there. We have a 6. And then we have the word times right here. The word times is the same as multiply, so, or the multiplication symbol. So 6 times as many as 8. So our next digit we have there is an 8. Is the same thing as equals, and we have 48. Okay, so all we have to remember is that times is the multiplication sign and is the equal sign. Okay, down below here we have 54 is 9 times as many as 6. So we can write this by starting with our digits, 54. And then, looking over here, we have is. And remember, is the equal sign. So 54 equals, or is. And then we have 9. And then we have times here, which is the multiplication sign, times as many as 6. So as you can see, it's really easy to write an equation out of a number sentence here, out of our comparison sentence. And that's a basic introduction into comparison with multiplication, or multiplication comparisons. And by knowing this, it'll lead us into the next couple chapters.